Dark Dawn is on the verge of one of the most significant breakthroughs it could possibly imagine. This is a skip that would skip the entire Balint sequence and then some. However, it doesn't work. We're so close, but it doesn't quite work. And we've been throwing ourselves at this thing for a while now, and we're not making any more progress, so we're going to make a video about it. And hopefully we will inspire somebody to pick up the mantle and give us a hand in trying to work this thing out, because if we can do this, it's going to be huge. This work really is due to Felissa. Her work, yet again, has broken Dark Dawn wide open. This time, two things, actually, and again, none of this would be possible without her, so thank you once again, Felissa. But let's get into it. So, I promised that we would skip Balint, or get very close to it. So the first thing we need to understand before that is what is a minute clip. This also goes by the name of angel clip or angel walking. It's when Matthew is wedged into some kind of acute angle, and by pressing in a very particular direction, Matthew very slowly will clip off the edge of the object. As you can see, Matthew's y-coordinate is rapidly updating in my memory watch, and eventually he's going to clip off out of bounds once the shadow disappears. Almost there. Almost there. Almost. Where are we? Come on, Matt. You can do it, buddy. There we go. And you can clip out of bounds just like that. They take a while, hence why I like calling them minute clips, but they basically allow us to skip a couple useful things. Phantasmal Bulk, for instance, is basically completely destroyed with this skip. You may have seen some of the clips uploaded on this channel already, but the minute clip is very important to this what's about to happen. Not this particular one, but it's good to know that this one exists. So the whole point here is that the map we're currently on is map D1. You can see here, current map D1. Map D1 has the Lunar Tower in this position. It is not raised yet. In the map D1, you're going to use some cheat codes here to clip through things. In the map D1, Iolio's cage is not slappable, as I'm demonstrating right here. So the whole point is that, well, there is another map. The other map is D2. If I load up this really quick, this one, D2. Actually, this was the correct one. There we go, D2. And in the map D2, it's nighttime. Lunar Tower has risen up. Nighttime isn't necessarily essential, but it's a thing. And in the map D2, Iolio's cage is slappable. So this whole effort is basically, can we get ourselves to this state without doing a large chunk of Balint's ruins in order to activate this sequence? For a while we thought, no, we have to go through all of Balint's ruins, etc, etc, etc. But then Felissa found this neat little trick. If you go into the Opera House and do a minute clip off of this barrel, now this minute clip is quite frustrating. It takes a little bit to kind of get it to work. There we go, now it's working. But eventually you can clip out. As you can see, Matthew is ever so slowly clipping out of bounds here. Yeah, this is truly one of the most difficult minute clips as well, so it's quite annoying. It's like level of Phantasmal Bulk. Anyway, we keep clipping, clip, 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 clip. Get one more pixel up. One more pixel. One more grid pixel. I'm looking at Matthew on the map here. It's frustrating because every now and then it stops working. With these minute clips off objects, you have to kind of like snake around the object, just make a safe state, just to make sure I don't screw this up. And eventually, well, you saw Matthew got out of bounds. You can get out of bounds, basically. It's quite annoying. It'll take a little bit of fiddling to get it right, but basically you do that procedure. You click over here and then drag it down slowly, and eventually you can clip out. Get to around here. It's not that precise. Run down right. Now, before I do that, I'm just going to sit on my gin, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk into the Crystallux cutscene. It's thanks to Velissa, who was using a map viewer. She found that this room existed off screen somewhere, so you can just run into it. Huge, amazing. So we get this. We do the Crystallux fight, which we can very easily clear with some summons. Which, yep, that's not too bad. We're gonna speed through this as quickly as we can. Get some level ups, because of course. And then we enter the sequence here. Goodbye, dragon. We get Crystallux. And away we go. Now we're loaded in here. There's 2 extra graves. You can see these 2 graves here. They're not on the mini-map, but they do exist here. You can even see that the current map has been updated to D2. That says we are on the correct map. And in fact, if we run over here, you can very quickly see for yourself that Luna Tower is in fact risen. So we've got Luna Tower risen during the day. So the first thing we'd want to check is what happens if you leave the area. If we leave the area, well, unfortunately, this resets. So into exit, we're back to map D1. If we run over here to this, it is now all shut up shop. So very clearly, we can't leave the area. Okay, but maybe we can do one of the minute clips, maybe clip up, maybe we can get to this location and use slap. Good idea. Doesn't work. Okay, maybe it needs to be nighttime. Okay, that's a very reasonable conclusion. So, what we can do is we can get into Luna Tower, go down here, into the Alchemy Dynamo, enter it in this state. Velissa actually found a clip off of these blocks once you use Whirlwind. Come down here, you can activate the Blados Chalice sequence very easily, very nice. But I don't want to fight Blados and Chalice, it's too long. We can get to this point, where we've defeated them, we've done the Crystallux thing, we've defeated them, we've activated the tower, we're leaving the tower, and we're causing this cutscene to trigger. So the important thing about defeating Blados and Chalice is it updates this value here, the Eclipse progression, that sets it to night. This flag being 01 says make it Eclipse. Fantastic. Now this is looking a lot more promising. We know that at nighttime Eolio is slappable, so let's just go do that. So flip up here really quickly. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. But it's fine, because the map reloaded correctly, and you can see that it's D2. Let's get slap ready. Let's go slap. And lo and behold, it doesn't connect. What is going on? And you can clearly see that this will work at night. This is a different save file. This one hasn't cleared the Eclipse Crystallux encounter. This has just gone through it normally. And you can see that even without entering and exiting the castle, that Eolio's cage is slappable. So what is actually going on here? Well, this is the end of the Crystallux sequence. See this flag here? This flag called what we're calling Balinsk Progression. Once you clear through the Crystallux cutscene, this value here updates to 90. You have added on x80 to this value. That it corresponds to basically a bit flag, a yes or no value at a particular position in the hex number that basically says Balinsk is now in this state. If you load into map D2, add these 2 graveyards because Crystallux has been obtained. This flag also disables repeat encounters of the Crystallux encounter. So, cool. The unfortunate consequence of enabling this flag is that all of this stuff happens post-Eclipse, right? So the whole sequence is you do Eolio, you leave the castle, you get the cutscene with Volchik and the Opera House, Sveta says we have to go save him, we go and save him, we get Crystallux. So in all of that sequence, after that sequence, this cage should not be slappable. This cage should not even exist. And so for some reason, they've added this extra condition onto this thing which says that if you, by some miracle you end up in this position, do do not add the slap property to the cage. This is particularly frustrating. I'm showing you now a list of all of the things that are associated with both the Balinsk and Eclipse progression flags. We have tried manipulating every single one of these values, and the only value that stops this cage from being slappable is the Crystallux one. It's the only one. And that's pretty sad, because if we could do this sequence, we just skip so much of this dungeon. Yeah, okay, maybe we have to do the Blados Chalice fight to slap the thing, whatever, it doesn't really matter. The point is, we don't have to do any of that, the magma orb stuff. We don't have to run around like a dingus in the tower trying to solve it. In fact, we can skip arid heat, because we no longer need arid heat, because the Balinsk Ruins has the only 2 uses of arid heat in the run. Cold snap is out, because you don't need to go to Talon Peak anymore. Just so much of this game gets skipped if this would work. But in fact we can't, because this one flag just stops it from working. So for the last 72 hours or so, we've been trying a lot of things. Hopefully I'm showing them some of those on screen right now. And nothing worked. Nothing has worked. But the promise of this glitch saving so much time has spurred us on to continue searching to try and make a way to make this happen. All we need to make this skip happen, or a skip of this magnitude happen, is to somehow load into the D2 map instead of the D1 map. If we can load into the D2 map without the Crystallux flag set, then we are home and hosed, and all of this stuff becomes a reality. Unfortunately, everything we have tried has failed, and that's where we turn to you. Felissa has driven herself insane looking for this stuff. Rignatrace has driven himself insane looking for this stuff. I have driven myself insane trying to look for this stuff, but we've just come up short. Hopefully, there's somebody out there in the community who is also interested in this and wants to dive in and help. So open call. If you are interested in completely destroying Dark Dawn, come join us on the Discord. Come help out. We'll get you set up, we'll get you hunting, and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, the promise of this glitch is so great. It'd be amazing if this sequence worked, but we're just a little bit too far away. So until then, we'll be running this game without the skip. We'll be doing it the, well, not the conventional way, but we'll be playing through this sequence in the conventional way at least, and we'll be breaking as much of the game as possible in the interim. But yeah, unlikely we get below 5 without something like this happening, or maybe we can, I don't know, but this would really genuinely break the game down to like a 3-hour run. So yeah, if you're interested in making that a reality, come join us. Otherwise, stay tuned, and if we do break the dungeon, you bet I'll be uploading something around that as well. Until then.